There is a small island on the coast of Portugal called Madeira, and in 1991, a small kid from that island decided that he was going to be the best footballer ever. Not one of the best, the best. His family had no money. His father was an alcoholic. His house had a tin roof, and his sisters and mother were working as maids to afford the house. Nobody in that island saw in him what he saw in himself. But he didn't need them to. He practiced alone while everyone else slept. He stayed on the pitch longer than everybody expected him to last. Not because someone told him to, but because it became his identity. At 12 years old, he took a 10-hour flight to Sporting CP's academy. He cried himself to sleep in the initial stages. He was crying, isolated and weak. They mocked his accent, they called him a peasant. And here's where most people's stories end. The loneliness breaks them. They go home, they become something smaller. But Cristiano Ronaldo didn't go home. He trained harder, he became better. By 16, he was the only player in Sporting's academy on all four age group teams, the under 16s, 17s, 18s and the first team. At 18, Sir Alex Ferguson signed him for Manchester United, and the world still wasn't ready to take him seriously. He was too flashy, too many step overs, he was weak and he was skinny. His teammates were skeptical. Even after winning the Premier League, even after winning the Ballon d'Or. When he moved to Real Madrid, the greatest club in the world, the press called it arrogance. When he cried on the pitch, they called him soft. When he celebrated, everyone called him narcissistic. For 20 straight years, everyone found a way to make Cristiano Ronaldo feel too hungry, too emotional, too obsessed with himself. And for 20 years, he looked at all of it. Every critique, every booing crowd, every pundit. And became more of himself, not less, just more. That's the part nobody puts in the highlight reel. Becoming yourself. Because becoming yourself is the hardest part that you will ever face. The real vision, not the safe version, doesn't look clean from the outside. It looks obsessive, irrational, and maybe even arrogant. Because the people around you are still processing who you are, whereas you are processing who you found to be. And that gap between those two versions of you, that's the loneliest place you'll ever be. You've already outgrown certain version of you, certain outcomes, certain habits, and certain versions of your own thinking. But the new version hasn't fully arrived yet. So you live in this in-between phase where you haven't achieved anything but still have given up on your own past. Your old self feels too small, your new self feels too far, and every single day you have to make a choice. Do I stay in this discomfort or do I keep moving on? Or do I go back to something that I was earlier? Most people go back not because they're weak, but because nobody told them that this part was just the beginning of everything. And they thought clarity was supposed to come first. That confidence was supposed to come first, that results were supposed to come first. But that's not how it works. You have to delay every gratification, you have to be patient in order to become what you've always dreamt of. Moved forward in the dark before the evidence was there, before the validation came, before anyone else could see what he already knew. It's not confidence. Most people will assume that's something else. That's the refusal to let the world's version of you become the only version of you. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The opposition you face, the people who doubt you, the circumstances that feel stacked against you, the voice inside your own head that tells you to be realistic, that opposition isn't your way. It's part of the process of becoming. Because every time you keep going despite everything, you become a little more of yourself, a little less shaped by what other people need you to be. And that accumulates slowly, quietly, until one day you look up and realize the version of yourself that used to feel impossible is just who you are now. I'm not going to tell you it stops being hard. Ronaldo still gets criticized, still gets doubted. He's 41 years old and still writing pieces about whether he's finished. But watch him when it happens. He doesn't collapse, doesn't retreat. He just keeps going with the same intensity, determination, and confidence. Because somewhere along the way, he stopped needing the pain in order to move on. That's the shift. Not that it gets easier, but that you stop waiting for it to. If you're in that place right now, that in between, that gap, that quiet suffering to trying to become something, don't shrink yourself to make other people comfortable. Don't slow down because the evidence hasn't arrived yet. Don't let the world's version of you become the ceiling of your ambition. The pain that you're feeling right now isn't the story ending, it's the story starting. If this hit you, share it with someone who needs to hear this. Subscribe for more interesting videos like this. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.